Power is back with another review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Hyper Heroes Vintage Robo. And Vintage Robo is a mech that is made up of 3 components. We have Vintage Jet, Vintage Submarine, and Vintage Dump. So we're going to be working on these 3 guys for this review, and each one of them has an alternate mode to them being what they are. So it's going to be really interesting. Let's just get into it right here. We're going to be starting off with Red, the Vintage Jet. Now this set is a smaller set compared to my other sets because they are usually massive, but this is a smaller set but still has a decent amount of height and articulation, so all the rest doesn't really matter. Anyway, I'm giving away too much. But so yeah, let's just take a look at the Jet, guys. So here it is. It looks really, really nice. I do like the colorway and how it came out. It came out really, really good. You have a lot of the vintage colorways here. You have the whites, you have the dark blue. They used a lot of navy blue back then, red, yellow, gold. So just really classic stuff here. You have the silver going on up there. Just an overall really good look of a mech slash toy. So you know, it is for enjoyment. So yeah, besides this though, which I will give you just a little more of a look at. You know, this is the Jet. So besides this guy, we will get into his second mode after I go over the other 2. So we're going to be taking a look at the Submarine. So here is the Submarine. It is very small and blue, but it's really nice. I do like how the navy blue and the white, reds, and yellows all sort of just collaborate into one design. Really nice stuff here. I do dig it. Super simple. You see little claws there. Just not too much going on, but it does get the job done. Small little figure. That's just about it. So we'll set that to the side. Then we're going to come to the Dump. And Dump is another small one, but it is also really nice. Just nice stuff going on here. The clear yellow parts, the brown, you know, just more vintage, like when it came with the brown and the blues and the reds and the yellows. Really mashing those colors together in the right way is what mattered back then when it came to the vintage look of the Mecha and Robo. So always look for that. If you're looking to build one that's based off of something old school, make sure you keep that kind of formula of those colorways, because that's what they really did back then. So articulation here we have is just that there. He does not roll, so it doesn't really roll too much. It just has its look like it does roll, but it doesn't. But it does do his little thingy thing. So besides this guy being the Dump, we're going to come back to the Jet, and we're going to turn him into his Scorpion tank mode. Now, this is also like a vintage, old school like design. So I'll be moving these guys to the side and giving him a little more room. And what we're going to be doing first is we're just going to flip these forward. Once we do that, this can come downwards. Then we're going to extend these all the way out and around, like so. Yeah. Then we're going to grab this portion and we're going to actually turn this around first, then like that, so he can see from the cockpit area. And there is your Scorpion tank presented. It rolls around and it has these rotating Gatling guns. You know, these can move around also, but really it's for transformation purposes. But it still has the articulation, so really it is transformed, if I can be honest with you. There's this giant laser there, and all these different there's of lasers. But there are plenty of lasers, guys, so he's definitely going to fire up an enemy if he wants to have a problem. This guy will make him pretty much disintegrate. You know how it goes. So, nice thing going on here. You can also open, whoops, that came off, which wasn't supposed to, and I didn't think that it was going to come off, surprisingly. I was going to hook that right back on. So you can open these up and it can fly around, or you could just fold it back to normal. And okay, that was the problem there. I just bent it a little bit too far forward. Okay. Yeah, so we won't let that happen again, guys, for the review. I tried not to let that happen. It never has happened, but it did happen. Oh well. So yeah, this is pretty much it for this guy, and we're just going to transform him back into his regular form by just folding these back into position. And when you do that, when transforming him into the jet, I have to make sure that that black tab there is facing this way, so when it goes down, it can sort of fit in a groove. It's like a little groove fit there when I transform it. And by the way, this mech does not exist, so I mean it does now, but it doesn't exist in real world time, so you can't find it anywhere but on here. And that's the beauty of these reviews. So let's get into let's move you to the side. You shouldn't even be here. So let's get into the submarine again. Now it has a very simple mode. It just goes from submarine to the ship, just like that. It just opens up and it's a ship. Yeah, it looks like it has a face, but it's a giant like cruise ship, I guess. I was going for it. I tried to nail something else into it. Originally, this was the design for it. It wasn't a submarine. It was just a ship like this. And I was like, it needs to be something else. So I plugged it in like that, and it just simply turned into a submarine. A vintage looking one, very boxy. You can see the wings right there, the little fin things. So yeah, that's it for this. And let's get into this guy, the dump one. So this is based off of Go-Go Dump from Bokenger, or the Overdrive Dump Zord. Now this one is a little different because you have to take off the scooper, that's what I'm going to call it, and it has no use, but once you do that you can fold these out, and it is a forklift. So it runs around like a little forklift picking up stuff. So yeah, we have sky, land, and sea. This is land, the other one was sea, the red one's sky. So that's pretty much it for that. We can just fold these back up and sort of just get it back into its regular design. So that's pretty cool. Now the main thing we're going to be looking at is how to transform it. So we are going to start off with the legs and build it from the ground up, and that is blue and yellow. Now with blue, what we're going to do is something very interesting here. First, we're going to reach down here, and you see this white tab there. We're going to fold it out all the way, and then we're going to come to the front of this section and flip it out and make sure it's all snug, and there is a leg right there. Simple as that. These are the connection ports, but it's really one of these. This is the leg. Now we're going to come to yellow and sort of do the same exact thing here. We're going to raise that up, and then once we do that, we're going to fold these around and down. Make sure they're at the right angle. They will adjust as I connect the pieces together, then I'll know how to adjust it correctly. But you just do the same thing there and flip that out. There's another leg. So these are you two footsies there, and we will get to red. So with red, what we're going to do with him is we're going to fold up the wings, sort of get the arms and bring them backwards. Once you do that, rotate this all the way like that, so that you have a body, and then you raise that up, and there's his head right there. Very classic looking with the silver and the sort of like see-through red. I wanted to make it look vintage. That was some gold paint that got stuck on there. I did not have to use this piece. I could have just gotten a new one, but I didn't want to go in the pile of digging, so I just left it. So yeah, it's scarred Lego, but that's how you know it's been through a lot. So there's this here. What we're going to do with this is we're just going to plug that in right there snugly. And oh, I almost forgot, because that would have looked completely wrong. This piece of the jet. Now we're just going to fold it up just like that. Now it's an upper body, and you see where this goes. We're just going to do blue actually, and just sort of like do it in the traditional Sentai / Ranger order. But you know that this is Hyper Heroes, and once you plug it up, sort of like, that's where I was talking about with the standing. You want to make sure it's all in the right positioning so that he doesn't look all wonky. So once you connect the guy together, if I can raise my camera, it's so stiff. There we go. So once we connect the guy together, it looks really, really cool when it's by itself. Nice design here. Really nice. His legs do have a little wobble, but that's cool because he does have a little bend, and he can sort of just like do robot stuff and just, you know, he can shoot. Really cool bot. It looks nice. I do like the colorway. So he's more of like a little, I don't know the size class of Transformers. He would, is it Voyager class? He would be about a Voyager class size, to be honest. But in reality, he wasn't made to be the biggest thing. Now, I would compare him to another mech, but then that would be completely spoiling anything for the future review. This right here is part 1 of part 2, by the way, guys. There is vintage Robo, then we have classic Robo to go over. Its counterpart, and no, they do not combine. I have not done that in a long time. I need to, but for now I'm not. So, you know, just getting a good look at him over on this side. Just sort of a detailed look at his body and the craftsmanship that went into the design. I really tried to make a smaller mech, but that had sort of a lot of detail to him. I really wanted to make something that was quite memorable and the classic design and I am going to build 2 aerial Zords or mech, which will be one that's consisted of all birds that are like jets, which is like Jetman, but the color will be a lot different, but similar. You'll see it, you're gonna love it. And then we're gonna have one that I had built and I was going to review, but I completely lost the file, and it was all aircrafts, and I just completely destroyed the entire Zord. I don't know how that happened, but if you're watching my videos constantly, you've known, and maybe one of them, there was an appearance of that mecha being all jets, and it just disappeared. But anyway, this is that guy. Yeah, so that's it for this review, guys, and this is Power Bricks signing off.